found my big buck and the other shooter that's with him. He's a sweet looking buck. I've been keeping my eye on this big wide buck with this kind of a trident point going on with his left fork. He's got 3 points inside his left fork. Super sweet deer. They're just out feeding with that big group, and then I've got this group behind me. I can still see them watching, work their way across the plain. Gonna try to kind of keep an eye on that group, see where they bed. That 1 4-point's pretty good, but I've got some bigger ones I'm dealing with right here, so whether I want to go after that guy or wait for the evening for these guys, we'll see. It's first day. Definitely wouldn't mind waiting a little bit, just being patient on these deer, but getting some sweet video. I can see these deer from a mile away. Every time I've tried to find them, I've always found them. So that's good. We're in the chips. We're in the right place. Just needs to be the right time. So I am just packing up everything now, getting everything loaded up. I'm gonna head back down to my e-bike, head back to camp. I've got these bucks bedded, and they are bedded underneath the same exact pine trees that they bedded. They took literally the exact same route as they did last week when I was glassing them during the antelope hunt. I mean, to a T. So I'm gonna come back out here probably midday, glass these beds again, see if they've moved from that. A couple of the bucks jumped the fence and went even further into that property, so just gonna keep an eye on them. Then I'll be back out here this evening. Hopefully they get up out of their beds and come back over and cross onto the side that I can hunt. So we'll see, but packing up for right now, getting everything loaded, gonna head back to camp. Do a little tour around camp here. I don't know if I've shown you guys camp yet, but I got the four-wheeler, got my truck, then I've got my little canopy here, just a little Ozark Trail Walmart canopy. Works great. I think the thing was like 50 bucks. Got the e-bike, got the chair, reclining chair, that's a must. Got the DeWalt radio, Bluetooth radio, can also charge my cell phone off of it. Charger for the e-bike, got my little Coleman cook stove. Got underneath here, got all my dry food, everything in there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I got the coolers, need to empty the water out of there, but some condiments, some milk, got my trash bag, keep things tidy, extra water. Then I put up this tarp. I always bring a tarp with me pretty much to any camp. Tarps have so many uses, like unlimited uses. So hung this tarp here so I've got a little more shade during the day. Out here in Western Nebraska, it's just constant sun all day long. So gets me out of the wind a little bit, gets me out of the sun a little bit, kind of keeps the dust down a little bit too. So got all my cookware, trash bags, forks, batteries, just random stuff. So this is camp. We got these string lights. These things suck. Bought those from Walmart. They're absolutely terrible. I'm just gonna throw them away because they keep falling off. But I also have my last lights. This is a battery pack light. It just attaches here. Get plenty of light at night. Got the lantern hanging above as well. Then let me show you my actual sleeping quarters. This is my sleeping quarters. So I've got my canvas cutter in here. This thing is extremely comfortable. I've got extra gear in the corner, extra diesel, got some sticks for my tree stand, tow strap. And then this thing has been a lifesaver. It's a battery powered DeWalt fan, and oh my gosh, it is perfect for sleeping at night. I've also got a spare e-bike battery in here, getting a little dust, but then I've got lights all around the inside on 3 corners, and I've got the lights mounted on the windows so that when I open up the window, I can have light shining directly down on the ground. Pretty sweet little camping setup. I like it a lot. As you can tell, it's dusty out here.
brought my Elevate hang and hunt set to put in this pine tree, but I forgot all the straps and the straps for the steps. So I wasn't planning on hunting it tonight. I was planning on hunting it tomorrow morning. So I think what I'm going to do is just lay it here at the base of the tree and come in like super early tomorrow morning and hang it. I got some pictures of several of these bucks, several of the shooters, walking right past this pine tree yesterday morning and the morning before. So they were about 15 minutes before shooting light, so I'm hoping they just kind of gradually start getting earlier and earlier, but we'll see. So I'm going to set these here, leave them here. Tomorrow morning I'll bring the straps in and just set it super early, but it's about 5:40 right now. So I'm going to head up to the high spot, head up to the glassing point, try to find these bucks again. I'm sure they moved from their first bed this morning. Several of the bucks I know moved further off to the west, but I'm hoping they kind of take this fence line, start working this way. If they do, I'll be able to hop into this pine grove right here, stalk my way to the edge, and hopefully be able to get a shot. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave the tree stand here, come back tomorrow morning and hang it, but we're gonna head up to the glassing point now. Alright, got the spotting scope set up. Gonna start glassing. I have found the bucks again. They're up out of their bed. They're feeding around. They're kind of moving this draw down towards me, which is perfect. If they get over halfway, I'm gonna make a move on my side and get down here into this grove of trees. And if they cross over and come into my field, hopefully I can get a shot, but I've got them all down in this bottom below me now at about 400 yards, maybe 500. They're a little ways off, but man, gorgeous deer. Hopefully they keep moving this way. I've got eyes on the big group. About half of them are moving to the left, half of them are moving to the right. I believe the half that's moving to the left is going to hit the fence line and eventually work their way towards the property that I can hunt. Now, whether they do that before dark, I don't know. Only got about probably 50 minutes of light left, and they're still pretty dang deep in the property, but the ones that are moved to the right look like they're coming right at my glassing point, so we'll see what they do. Maybe they just come straight across. Who knows? This is just kind of a scouting mission right now, honestly, just trying to figure out like where the heck are these deer going, because they are only on the property that I can hunt for a fraction of time. They live most of their life on a property that I cannot hunt, so I need to just catch them when they're coming through, morning, evening, whatever, because they feed on my side, but they bed on the neighbors. So anyway, just watching them. Maybe I can get a beat on them, maybe make a play. If they pick up the pace, they'll make it there before dark for sure, but they got to get to moving. Set up. Ready to rock. I'm hoping these deer are gonna jump this fence right here and cross right out in front of me right here. Well, they haven't come through yet. And I'm starting to run out of camera light, so instead of bumping them, I can kind of feel the wind on my back just a little bit. Instead of bumping them, I'm just going to pull out, head back to the e-bike, and take the long way back to camp. Close to night, but just not Good enough timing. They need to come out earlier. Well guys, this morning was tough just in terms of having any sort of opportunity. The bucks that I'm after, the big group, moved across the fence like 10 minutes before legal shooting light, so they weren't even on the property that I can hunt during legal shooting hours at all. I need to switch in weather or wind or something to get them up earlier, but I will say they crossed much earlier, almost 30 minutes earlier today than they did yesterday morning. I glassed up Tank this morning, I glassed up 22, and I glassed up Pretty Boy. I never did glass Trident, never could find him, so he might be bedded in a different spot. Heck, he might be bedded on the property that I can hunt. So I'm gonna do some more glassing from a couple different points, but my guess is he probably just crossed even earlier than the main group. I think Trident's the bigger, older, dominant buck, and he's kind of just doing his own thing, doing his own route. I've kind of noticed he loops up on his own. He kind of stays 100 yards away from the herd. Go look around a little bit, get some food, I'm hungry, and then head back to camp. I got the strap to hang this stand in this pine tree right here. I dropped this stand off here yesterday evening. Never did end up hanging it, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the strap in the tree, get it hung so that if those bucks start to move early tonight, it's about 5 o'clock right now. They started to move about 6 o'clock last night. If they move a little bit earlier, I'm gonna have this stand in place and I can run down this windrow and get set up in this stand, and hopefully they come out across this farm outlet into this field to feed. But we're gonna get this stand hung quick, head up to the glassing point. Made it out for the evening glass. Got the spotting scope set up. Just got the tree stand hung down there. It's hot out. It's like 5:15 right now. These bucks didn't start moving until about 6. I'm hoping that they pick up and start moving earlier, or just traveling quicker. If they'd have traveled a little bit quicker last night, I might have got a shot. But anyway, gonna just start glassing, see if I can't pick them up. I cannot believe it. I just got off the phone with the landowner of the ground that they have been walking through every single morning. This guy wouldn't let anybody hunt. I asked him last year. I asked him again this year. He said no. I asked him again. I started texting him. I'm like, man, this is the buck that I'm after. You know, what are the chances I can hunt this one little section? I highlighted the section and sent it over to him and stuff. And then he calls me and he's like, man, he's like, I just don't let anybody hunt. But he's like, if you stay to that one section that you outlined, I don't mind if you go in there and hunt. He's like, you've always been honest with me. You've talked to me and just been really nice. And he said, I appreciate that. I appreciate you calling and just not going on there. He said, normally I wouldn't let anybody in there, but the situation that you're in, it sounds like you might be able to get it done with that deer, and I want that for you. I mean, I like hit my knees and started thanking God, because this is the piece of property that I needed access to. It's not a huge piece of property, but they cross it every morning. The last 2 mornings, they've crossed it every morning, and they were crossing it during the summer. I mean, if I can get this figured out, it's slam dunk. That being said, I haven't seen but one of the bucks. I saw 22 this evening, and he was working to the right, which is not the way I need him to go. That's getting deeper into the property that I can't hunt. So I'm like mix of emotions right now. I need him to come back this way, and maybe they will tonight, but that was the access I needed. I mean, slam dunk. They will be back there again this week. I don't know when, but I know they'll be back there. So that was everything. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. I just found them, guys. Finally. Only got 20 minutes of light left, but they finally just popped out of these cedars down below. I didn't think I was going to see them tonight. I mean, usually I'd see them by 6 o'clock, and it's already 7:30. They finally just popped out, but they're working this way, which tells me they're probably going to cross into the egg fields tonight, which is perfect. So hopefully they take the same route tomorrow morning, coming back to bed that they have been the last couple of days. I'm going to be set up in that CRP waiting for them. I'm going to get up early, way early, and hike in there. I might sit like 2 hours in the dark just waiting, because I definitely don't want to bump them or spook them at all. I want to hike in there and be ready for when they come through, because when they come through, they'll be right on top of me, hopefully. But watch them in glass now, so yeah, this is perfect. I've got Tank, one of my main shooters, taking the exact route that they did last night. So there's a smaller group of bucks, none of the big ones, over here on the right. And right in front of me, Tank is working his way down the draw that he always does every single day. So that just tells me he should be on the exact route tonight and tomorrow morning. I'll be in place at least to get a shot at him, but I haven't seen Trident yet, but Trident usually hangs out with Tank. They're kind of buddies. They have been all summer. Trident's got to be somewhere right there with them. I can't find him now. I'm starting to lose light, so the glassing's getting tough, but we got Tank at least. I'll shoot that deer 10 out of 10 days. Oh my gosh, I'm so pumped for the morning. Alright, lost all light for glassing, so I'm headed back down to the four-wheeler. Gonna take the long way around back to camp. Game plan for tomorrow morning. Need to get my headspace right. I should get a shot tomorrow, so I might even do a little shooting at camp tonight. Well, good morning, guys. I am getting ready to go hike in. It's about 4:15 in the morning. Just got to get back there and get set up and get ready for deer to move through. Usually they would typically move through that area about 6:15, so going in plenty early today. say might be regretting it, but decided to pass that buck. We'll see if the other boys come across down in here. This is the spot though. For sure, when I leave today, I'm gonna doctor up this blind quite a bit more so I can just come back and set up in here, but gorgeous morning. Maybe those other bucks will come in. There goes one of my main target bucks. That's Tank. He's just on the other side of the fence. He must have come down in this bottom already on the other side of the fence, because he definitely wasn't on my side or he'd have been with those other bucks. Might have to sit here just about every morning and see what happens. They'll eventually come back through here, I know it. Gorgeous morning. There's two of my shooters. They're likely gonna keep taking that cut down. I doubt that they come back and cross this fence my way, but I'm gonna keep an eye on them just in case they do. But that's Tank and 22. This is my setup. Starting to rain on me a little bit, but all those bucks have moved off back down into that draw, so got cover here, cover here, cover here, cover here, and then I would get down like this. I'd have all this cover out in front of me. And those bucks came through right here, 38 yards. So perfect setup. I'm gonna doctor it up a little bit, put some more cover out here on the front, and then pack up my bow, head back to the four-wheeler. I know most all of these bucks bed by about 8 o'clock. It is 7:55 right now. I'm watching these two on the ridge. They'll move off here in a little bit. Then I'll start doctoring up this blind. Probably for tomorrow morning. I don't think tonight I'll sit it. I'll probably go back on the high point tonight. I haven't seen Trident for a day and a half now, so I'd like to see where he went. He might have moved on to the property that I can hunt sometime in the night, and he's been bedding over there. I just haven't picked him up, so I really want to find that buck, but two of my big shooters are using this area, so definitely going to make this blind really, really, really brushed in. Alright, got the blind finished. Can't even tell it's a blind, it just looks like the rest of the landscape. This is the whole outside. Boom. Just a perfect setup. Those bucks were right out here, 38 yards this morning. Just need the big boys to do the same thing. It's game over. Spot's very, very, very promising. Just need them to stay on route. Check this trail camera I got by the tree stand. See what's on it. All right, kind of cool stuff. I am customizing my camo Whitetail Fit puffy hat. I'm just cutting off pieces of this blind material, tying them in knots like this, and then I'm just super gluing it all around the hat. So by the time I'm done, this whole hat will have all this 3D material on it. I'm doing this because of the blind that I'm set up in. This is very similar colors, and I didn't want any dark contrast whatsoever. And I did not bring a tan hat because I don't know why. I just wasn't thinking. So I'm making this hat into a 3D ghillie hat. Pretty sweet. All finished up. This isn't good, just pulled back up to camp. I knew we had a storm blow through. I drove further south to scout some public ground and came back to camp. Bike's tipped over, rug's all messed up. Surprised the table didn't flip, but my awning came up. Looks like it rained here too. Looks like it kind of bent up the frame. Broke that leg completely out. Bent that leg. Walmart awning did not withstand the abuse. Dang it. Oh, and all my stuff got rained on. Does this still work? Yep. Time to rebuild camp. Well, good morning. I'm set up in my little ground blind that I made yesterday. And it's 6:08 in the morning. Starting to get pretty light out now. Haven't had any of the bucks come in over this hill, kind of like I expected them to, but out in front of me, just across the fence, 150 yards, I've got Tank, which is one of my shooters. Left for him to turn and come this way, but it already kind of looks like he's heading back to bed the route that he usually takes. Just gonna watch him, see what he does. Hopefully one of those other bucks are late. End up coming over this rise. Oh, there he is, right there. I've got 6 bucks on the skyline on my side of the fence. Hopefully they keep working this way and don't just jump the fence to cross. I think one of them is a shooter, and I think one of them might be the one I passed yesterday. I'm gonna have to make a decision whether I want to pass him again or not. Just went full draw on Pretty Boy at 21 yards. I kept debating last night whether or not I wanted to shoot him. And looking back at pictures, pictures and trail camera pictures and videos and stuff that I've got of them. Last night I kind of was thinking like, man, maybe that was a bad decision passing that deer. Then I had all these bucks come in over the rise this morning. Just picture perfect. I think I had like 12 or 13 bucks come in. One of my big shooters for sure. And then one of my other shooters was across the fence, Tank. But 22 was on the hill. And then this is Pretty Boy. And like I say, I was going back and forth whether I wanted to shoot Pretty Boy or not. His width is like right at his ears. I think he's 3.5 years old. I think Tank and 22 both are like 5 years old, so that's kind of what I'm after. Decided to give him the pass. I need 22 to do exactly what that deer just did. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. They're pretty much all just chilled out feeding. Pretty much all the bucks have moved off to bed, so I'm just starting to pack everything up. I'm gonna check out up here too to see if maybe I want to kind of situate something up here or move this blind up there, because if I'd have been on the edge of those weeds as they come over the hill, Tank and 22 would have been like 50 yards away. Actually, looking at it, I think I am going to move the blind up here. There's quite a bit of natural cover that's already here. Kind of the edge where this shorter brome grass is, and the edge of the fence line, they crossed right there at like 50 yards this morning. And I was all the way back there at 100 yards, so it's going to take some work, but I'm going to move this blind up because I need every inch that I can to kill that big buck. He's smart. All right, just finished up the blind. Took some work, but here's the deer's view. Only 5 yards from the blind. There's the inside. Home sweet home. Heading up to the glassing point, had another windstorm blow through, bringing this cold front in. It's about 5:45 right now. Getting up here a little later than I would have liked, but that windstorm was ripping, so nothing but gorgeous views. It's pretty wild. Sunsets in Western Nebraska are unmatched. I don't know, I've been a lot of places in this country. I don't know if the sunsets get any better than Western Nebraska. Just gorgeous. Well, we're all set up in the blind. The wind is ripping. We had a big storm come through last night, big cold front, and blew over a bunch of my blinds, so I kind of had to rebuild things in the dark this morning. It still isn't ideal, but it's better than it was. So obviously it's pretty windy, so apologize for the audio, but we're set up. We're gonna see if these bucks come in and do the same thing as they did yesterday morning. If they did, we'll be in really good shape. So here we go. Slight change of plans. It's about 8 o'clock, and I think what I'm gonna do is pack up everything in the blind. The sun is pretty high right now, and I'm getting kind of blown out by the sun. I don't have the shade that I want anymore in order to stay really concealed. I'm gonna go ahead and pack everything up. I am so fired up right now. I can't even explain it to you guys. Holy cow. I just drove by a piece of property that's got a bunch of milo planted and like an old farmstead on it. There's not even a house there. It's just like a bunch of old machine sheds overgrown with a bunch of trees and bushes and stuff like that. Got a hold of the landowner. He's the same landowner that I've got permission on another piece with. Called him, explained the situation. I literally drive past this property, and the little buck that Trident has been hanging out with all summer. He's bedded like right off the edge of the old homestead. That trident has to be bedded in there, has to be bedded in there. I am like fired up. It all makes sense. Trident disappeared 3 days ago. 3 days ago. This is only 1.5 miles as the crow flies to this property. Such a stalkable situation, like the perfect situation. I talked to this landowner for 30 minutes on the phone. Originally, he wasn't gonna give me permission. He said, that's the homestead. I usually don't let anybody on there. And I was completely respectful of it. I was like, absolutely no problem. I just had to call and ask. I said, I saw this little buck bedded. I was thinking the buck that I'm after is probably bedded in there too. And the landowner was like, I guarantee he's bedded in there. He said, the last couple of times I've been out, I've seen a really, really big buck on that property. So this must be another home range that Trident lives in, or another big buck that I don't even know of. Anyway, after 30 minutes on the phone, he's like, well, are you hunting with a bow? I said, yeah, it's bow season. I'm hunting with a bow. He said, well, why don't you grab your bow and go try to kill him? I am at a loss for words. I cannot believe I just gained that access. I'm getting ready now to go. I'm gonna set up on the high spot and start glassing. But I almost guarantee Trident's living in there. I'm gonna try to kill him. Let's go. Let's go. All right, I'm on top of this, I don't even know, it looks like an old cap to a septic tank. But right down below me, I've got a younger mule deer. He was just right on the edge of the Milo, 75 yards. Just trying to keep an eye out for this big one to stand up and start moving around so I can try to figure out what I'm gonna do. Probably just hang out here for the majority of the evening until I start seeing deer moving. I'm kind of up above the farmstead. Pretty cool spot. Decision because it's a good deer to take, but it's not necessarily what I'm after out here. I'll see what I end up doing. Like to see if a bigger one comes out. Did decide to pass him. I'm gonna slip around the backside of this little homestead and pop out in the other side of the corner because there's another Milo field over there. And I think I saw all the bucks that were here, but I don't know that for sure. So I want to pop over to that corner, glass that Milo, and make sure I covered everything. This might not be the spot that Trident came to, but there's that good whitetail looking rack buck out here. I don't know. I kind of went back and forth on whether I should shoot him just because of genetics, but we'll see. I might get happy about him later on in the week and try to come back here and put a stalk on him, but I'm gonna go check out that other field real quick. Well, headed back to the bike now. I think I glassed every single deer that was on this property. And the only one that was like borderline shooter that I was kind of interested in was that big whitetail looking 4x4. Obviously mule deer, but his rack looked like a whitetail. That might be the target buck for last day. We'll see. I'm gonna try to get back on those other bucks. We have the right wind to hunt them again down by the ground blind, so that's the plan. Walking back to the e-bike now. Got about a 2.5 mile bike ride back to camp. All right, made it back to camp, getting everything unloaded in the truck. Tomorrow morning, I'm going right back to the ground blind, and hopefully one of my shooters, hopefully 22. 22 has become my main target buck now that Trident has disappeared the last 3 days. 22 is like #1. So hopefully I can have 22 come in tomorrow morning and I can get a shot, but running out of time. Good morning, guys. I'm all set up in the ground blind, and right when I was getting set up, I could barely even see anything on the horizon, but in the moonlight I could see the silhouette of a buck walking across the horizon. Ever since then I haven't seen anything else come through. I'm gonna pack up from the blind and head up the hill. Make sure that these deer aren't still in the egg fields. I don't think they are. I don't think they were ever up in the egg fields. The only deer that I saw were 3 bucks. The same bucks that came through right on the skyline in the morning. They are now way deep on the neighbors, headed back to bed. So I'm gonna stalk up the skyline and make sure that there's no bucks on that backside. And then I might go back to that Milo spot or go up to the glassing point over here and see if I can find where those other bucks are. So anyway, no luck this morning. Hopefully we can run into them though. Well, I'm back at camp. I hopped in the truck. I'm gonna go drive over to that Milo property and see if that buck that I was on yesterday evening is in a good spot or stalkable this morning. It's only 7:20 in the morning right now, so they should, theoretically, still be up on their feet feeding. So we'll see if I can catch them either going to bed or catch them in a good spot to put a stalk on. So anyway, headed over there, gonna give it a glass. All right, I just got permission from this nice farmer right here. I had a big buck cross into this farm field, and he just gave me permission to go try to put a stalk on this buck. I saw him cross about an hour ago. Hopefully I can get in on him. We'll see. Smoked him.
Smoked him. Oh my gosh, I smoked him. I just smoked a giant in the cornfield. Oh my gosh. The spots suck. I just shot him right here. He stood up out of his bed. He fed out right in front of me, right between the corn rows. I put my pin on him and smoked him. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so many rows deep in this corn. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. That was a giant. That was a giant. I can't believe I just made that stalk. I'm several hundred yards deep in this corn, probably 50, 60 rows in from the side. I saw this buck cross the road. I can't believe that just happened. I'm gonna take my shirt, put it on the top of this corn and mark it so I know where I hit him. I'm gonna start looking for blood. Make sure it's a good shot. It sounded good, it felt good, everything was good. I think I pumped him. Okay. It's down here further. I just found blood right after the shot. I mean, right after the shot. Lung blood too. Just painted everywhere on the corn right here. Oh, thank you, Lord. I'm still gonna mark this with the t-shirt. He ran right through here. Lung blood is just spraying everywhere right after the shot. Yes! Look at this, guys. I just went to put this on the corn stalk. I hit him. He's standing right here. He's standing right here. And I was right there. I just stepped it off 16 yards. There's blood on the lung blood all over the corn stalks. Look at this. Look at this. There's blood 6 foot, 6.5 foot where he kicked on the corn stalk. Just, oh my gosh. God, you are so good to me. I'm gonna mark this on first blood. Just track it at least to the edge of the corn. I think he made it out of the corn, but we'll find out. Blood up high. It ran straight through here. Blood on the corn stalks. Blood there. Blood over here. Blood all over that corn stalk. Over here. All over here. Just spraying. He did. He made it to the edge. He made it to the edge of the corn. Blood here, blood here. He ran out. He ran out. Okay, he ran out. He's got to be dead right here in this field. Has to be. Guys, he's dead right here. He's dead right here. Yes! Yes! He's dead right here. Oh my gosh, it's Trident. It's Trident, dude. It's Trident. It's Trident. Yes! I shot Trident. Oh my gosh. Yes, dude. Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Lord. I'm
running back to my truck. I gotta get my main camera. I gotta document this. I knew it. I knew it. When I saw him in the corn, I was like, oh my gosh, that's Trident, but I didn't want to hype myself up. I just shot Trident at 16 yards. I got no words. I have no words. I just ran back to the truck, grabbed all my stuff. I'm walking up on him. I haven't processed anything. I am freaking out. That's Trident. That was my main #1 shooter. He disappeared 4 or 5 days ago. Well, all right. We got him, guys. Trident is down. The deer I've been hunting all week long. Spent 9 days hunting this deer. I scouted him during the summer, originally found him in the summer, and he absolutely became my #1 target buck right away. This deer is just ultra impressive. Everything about this deer is impressive. The reason we're calling him Trident, up here in his left fork, he's got a 3rd tine coming through his left fork, and he's just super wide deer, extremely pretty. He's good just about everywhere. Lots of mass, wide, good forks, extra point, good fronts, just an incredible mule deer out here in Western Nebraska. I cannot believe how it went down. The most crazy situation ever. I watched this deer cross onto a piece of property that I did not have permission on, but the landowner was on the property getting ready to harvest millet. I stopped. He was just about to get in the combine, stopped and talked to him. I explained to him that I saw this deer go into the cornfield and told him my story and what I was trying to do out here. And that was after this exact buck. And sure enough, he gave me permission. He said, yep, go ahead, no problem, absolutely. Go have fun, see if you can get him. He's actually right across the way right now harvesting millet. And I just called him here a little bit ago, told him that I got the buck. He came down, took a look at it, and he was impressed. He said, congratulations, and I cannot thank that landowner enough. I mean, this would not have happened if it weren't for that landowner's grace of letting me on the property in order to come hunt this deer. I thought this deer disappeared. I haven't found him for 4, almost 5 days now. I just found him again. He's 2 miles south of where I've been hunting him. So he traveled quite a bit. He must have found a sweet spot here with all this ag field around. So anyway, I stalked into the cornfield and I just took it row by row by row, super slowly. I'd stalk into one row, I'd glass down the row, stalk to the next one, glass down the row, and I'd get about 50 rows deep, and then I'd go down 40 yards and then go 50 rows deep, go down 40 yards and zigzag back. I stalked in that cornfield for probably 2 hours, and sure enough, I almost stepped on this deer in his bed. He was 6 or 7 yards away from me when he originally jumped out of his bed. He ran down to 16 yards and stood there and watched me for 10 minutes. He was just staring at me, and I just had to keep my composure. I went full draw on this deer 3 times. The 3rd time I got it done. 3rd time, he kind of let his guard down. He calmed down a little bit. It'd been 10 minutes. He hadn't seen anything he didn't like. And he moved right into my shooting lane, right into the row of corn that I had a shot in. 16 yards broadside, absolutely pumped him. Man, just absolutely ecstatic. I cannot believe that I'm actually sitting behind this deer, my #1 target deer that I've been chasing all week. I passed Pretty Boy twice. I passed that big 4x4 whitetail looking buck last night, and then this happened. God is so good to me, guys. I cannot even explain it. I can't believe that just happened. Well, I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for coming along on the journey. We're heading to elk hunting. I leave tomorrow for Colorado elk, so this was the last full day I could hunt anyway. Got it done on Trident, my #1 hit list. I'm just at a loss for words. This is wild. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.